Nobody puts humanity in a corner. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 man versus monster anime battles.
That's Eren! Hang on a second! Mika-san!
That roaring. This isn't good.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at the fights between mere mortals and nightmarish creatures, where it just goes to show that mankind aren't exactly pushovers. Be on the lookout for some mature content as well as a few light spoilers down the line. Number 10, Leaf vs. Gellick, Deltora Quest.
What are you waiting for? Finish them!
The original work by Australian author Emily Rodda was beloved the world over for its rich yet accessible fantasy world, featuring a group of young heroes battling against impossible odds and terrifying beasts. Surprised Japan didn't snatch it sooner. Atop Dread Mountain, Leaf and company find themselves facing off with the giant toad known as Gellick.
There's gotta be a way to stop him, but how?
While it seems like arrows and swords can do it no harm, its huge mouth proves to be its undoing thanks to some anti-evil magic spring water. Always carry a spare, lads.
It's water from the Dreaming Spring. I remembered what was written on the plaque.
Number 9, Itami's squad versus the Dragon, Gate.
村を逃げ出しておりまして。
Who has more firepower, a fantastical beast or the modern Japanese military? Let's find out. After a portal opens to a new world, the Japanese government finds itself having to deal with both enemies and refugees that are literally out of a fairy tale. Nowhere is this staggering contrast better highlighted than when Itami and the rest of the soldiers have to fend off an actual dragon. It's touch and go for a while, but thanks to some elvish advice, the soldiers manage to leave a lasting impression courtesy of a rocket launcher. Number 8, Bell vs. Goliath. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? As any keen adventurer knows, the deeper you travel into a dungeon, the deadlier the monsters become. Bell and his band discover this the hard way when they encounter the final opponent, that of a giant beast fittingly named Goliath. It's certainly Bell's toughest battle, even with backup consisting of warriors and magic users alike. But hey, when you have a goddess like Hestia waiting for you back home, we're pretty sure you'd also somehow find the strength to slay such a monster. Number 7, Sleeping Knights vs. Floor 27 Boss, Sword Art Online.
Let's mess him up! Right!
While there were plenty more Elfias to go around this time, Alfheim Online was certainly no less dangerous than its predecessor, especially because of its boss monsters. With the Sleeping Knights at her back, Asuna trades in her sword for an enchanted twig as they battle against the twin-headed boss of the 27th floor. Since they don't have the king of OP, Kirito, at their side, there was a decent chance they could all have their health wiped out. But thanks to some expert teamwork, the party manages to pull through. Hey! Number 6, Regu vs. Orbed Piercer, Made in Abyss. The Abyss may look alluring from upper levels, but as soon as you dive deep, it becomes clear that it's a nest for some of the deadliest beings imaginable. Unfortunately for Riko and Regu, they come face to face with one such creature. Though blind, the Orbed Piercer is able to respond to sound and movement to find its prey, then end them using poison spines. After their initial skirmish left Riko on the brink of death, Regu decides it's time for some payback. Thanks to the advice of Nanashi, he's able to outmaneuver the beast before bursting out the incinerator. Number 5, Team Lenka vs. Dios Peter, God Eater. You almost have to feel sorry for the monster here. Have you seen the bloody size of the weapons these kids have? Tasked with wiping out the creatures known as Aragami, a group of youths wielding specialized killing apparatus known as Godarks find themselves meeting their match when up against the fearsome Dios Peter. Even when getting nailed with swords and guns the size of houses, it refuses to go down. Luckily, our lead manages to pull a win out of the bag by going Super Saiyan, we mean by using his Oracle Cells, yeah. Number 4, Ashitaka vs. Boar Demon, Princess Mononoke.
It's some kind of demon!
A demon?
Miyazaki's magic not only knows how to transport us to an enchanting world, but also to scare us shitless. While initially nothing more than a peaceful deity in the shape of a boar, when corruption starts to invade the forest, the being known as Nago ends up going full demon, and it's up to the young Ashitaka to stop him before he reaches the village.
Please, leave our village alone! Stop, please!
The fight is frantic, tense, and beautiful all at once, with Ashitaka's expert marksmanship managing to win the day. Granted, the whole fight ended up blighting him, but hey, if not for the boar demon, he wouldn't have ended up meeting Sam. Talk about a blessing in disguise.
I'll always be near. Yakul and I will come and visit you whenever we can, alright?
Number 3, Team Subaru vs. the White Whale. ReZero, starting life in another world. Given how Subaru dies frequently throughout this series, we were pretty convinced that he was going to find himself following in Captain Ahab's footsteps when faced with this big bastard. Thankfully, he's got a whole team of warriors at his back this time.
Hey!
It's certainly not an easy scuffle given the creature's size and tendency to soak up damage like a sponge, but thanks to the mad sword skills of Wilhelm, as well as Rem's determination to protect her beloved, they managed to ground the White Whale for good. Number 2, Levi and Mikasa vs. Female Titan.
Do you hear me? Give him back!
Poor Eren, he's determined as hell to wipe out the Titans out of revenge for his mother's death, and he can transform into a giant rage monster. Yet he still comes third fiddle to the likes of these two. After the female Titan manages to wipe the floor with him, his bestie comes flying to his rescue and manages to do some decent damage. Then God Among Men Levi shows up and manages to really mess her shit up. Seriously, do we even need the rest of the Survey Corps? Just send these two to the fray. Number 1, Guts vs. Zod, Berserk. There can be no denying that Guts is a killing machine leagues above your average warrior. After all, he slaughtered 100 soldiers in one night by himself. He can take and dish out more punishment than any other human. That being said, Nosferatu Zod isn't human.
Impressive.
It's a monster.
After his raiders get massacred, Guts finds himself coming face to face with Zod the Immortal, and wouldn't you know it, he more than lives up to his namesake.
My sword.
Sure, Guts manages to leave quite a blow on the Apostle, but that's before he transforms into a giant winged bull. Despite receiving help from Griffith, it's still a marvel Guts managed to live through this first encounter.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.